What is going on, guys? Jacob Bardoti here, back with another vlog, and today what we're doing is starting the rebuild process on my work VSXXs. So you guys may remember the video where I unboxed these bad boys from jdmbuyer.com. They're in pretty rough shape, so we're definitely going to need to rebuild them, and I already have somebody lined up to paint them. They're going to be gunmetal gray, just a little teaser for you guys there. This is the bad boy we needed right here, and I was on a search for this. I went to Harbor Freight, Home Depot, and then finally I found it at O'Reilly's. It's an 8mm 12-point socket, and this one happens to be a 3/8 inch drive. You're gonna need this bit to take off the faces, and this is gonna fit right onto here, and there's a nut on the back side, so you'll have to have 2 ratchets or a power tool. I intend to use a ratchet on the front with a socket on it, and on the back I'll use a drill, like a power drill, and unscrew them all because there are 40 bolts per face, so 160 bolts total. And tonight my main goal is to just get all the bolts undone. These wheels are completely original. I don't think they've ever been disassembled, so I don't know if they're gonna fall right out with the face or they're gonna take a little bit of hammering with a wood block and stuff like that, because that's another technique. I'll probably have to do that, to be honest, but we're gonna find out. Before we get started, I wanna do a huge shout out to Amber over at Gloveworks, or Amex. She hooked it up. She sent out 4 boxes of these super awesome gloves. Highly suggest you guys try them. The link is down in the description if you guys wanna buy them. They're super thick, they last long, and they also have a sick grip on them. I'm gonna throw these bad boys on and we're gonna go ahead and get started. What I have here is a ratchet with an extension. This is the 3/8 to a 8mm, like I said, the 12-point. This right here is a 10mm wrench, and this goes on the back side so that way it prevents it from slipping. Like I said, there's a nut on the other side. I tried, while the camera was off, I tried to use the power drill, and I don't think that's going to be the way to do it because it just doesn't have enough torque. Also, it does not fit on the back side of the barrel because of the size of the freaking drill. So I'm having to do these all by hand. I was able to break one loose pretty easily, and maybe after that I can switch over. Maybe what I'll do is I'll break them all loose, and then after that I'll use the power drill and just get them all done. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started and start the time lapse now. So it's been a pretty frustrating fight. I'm sure you guys can see that in the time lapse. I have 3 bolts that just really will not come off. I'm really aggravated. It sucks. So what I think we're gonna have to do is, because of the nut on the back, I think we're gonna have to Dremel that off, and then it should just fall right out. But I don't have a Dremel right now, and I don't have any cutting wheels anyway, so I'm either gonna have to buy a Dremel, borrow a Dremel, or have a friend with a Dremel come over and cut these off. I think Brandon has one, and he has a couple cut-off wheels, so fingers crossed that Brandon comes through and helps tomorrow or something like that, because I do want to try to get these off to paint for the weekend before I head out to Louisiana. I'll be in Louisiana for 10 days, so kind of under a time crunch, but it's nothing that's not fixable. I mean, all I gotta do is cut them off and they'll fall right through because they aren't threaded. And then after that, I have to order new bolts and stuff like that just to replace the ones that we're gonna cut. As long as we don't damage the bolts, I can always get new nuts on the back. I was planning on getting new nuts on the back anyways. These ones are nasty. I'm just gonna show you guys what they look like real quick. So these bolts are actually pretty fine. They're gold and everything like that. They're real work bolts. However, these little nuts on the back are just terrible. They're so nasty. So I'm gonna refresh those, hopefully. I mean, as long as I can get them all off, we'll see. But yeah, I'm really just trying to pump it out and really get it done before I go to Louisiana, so that way they can get painted. And when I come back, I can start reassembling. This is just a part of building cars and building wheels and building anything, really. It's just a part of the hobby. It's just something we sign up for as we become car guys. There will be frustrating nights. There's gonna be nights where you just make huge mistakes. And this is kind of one of those nights. I think I may have stripped them myself. I mean, the bolts on the back were terrible, or the nuts on the back were terrible, but it sucks. Whatever, I'm not complaining anymore. We're just gonna have to deal with it, fix it, and move on. That's really the only thing you can do when you hit problems in life, and we'll just do that with these wheels.
Tomorrow for sure.
All right, guys, so it's the next day, and I'm in a little bit better mood now because we just finished breaking apart one of the wheels. What we had to do is buy a Cobalt, not the brand, actually the metal, a Cobalt drill bit, and we drilled out those 3 bolts that I just could not get out. If they're sacrificed, I'll have to buy a new set of bolts for that. But we now have at least 1 wheel apart, and now we're going to start on the other 3. Shout out to Garrett and Brandon for helping out and giving me the idea to cut the bolt out or just drill through the bolt, because that is what worked. So now we have this one all apart into 3 pieces. and everything's looking good. It was super easy to cut once we cut the silicone, and shout out to Garrett, he's using the gloves.
Shout out Gloveworks.
Shout out Gloveworks. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just go ahead and get started on the other ones. Garrett's clean off some of the silicone off the barrel and lip, and I'm just going to let PB Blaster sit on the back of the other ones, so that way when they're ready we can just go ahead and crank them off. Alright, so now we have all 40 bolts off, and Garrett's just using a utility knife and slicing off the silicone, just doing a nice thin line throughout it, and it should just kind of fall apart.
Now it should
Just like that.
pop off.
Or the other way. Oh yeah. That one's just more likely.
We're going to have to work on that one.
Try.
Nice, the face is already cooked.
Boom. Alright, that works.
Don't do that with nice faces.
Yeah. Since these are being rebuilt though, we're just gonna step on them and stomp them out because that's all that's needed. So 2 of them down, 2 more to go. Alright guys, so it's been a few hours now since I updated you last. We did a couple more wheels. We have 1 more left, but I think right now that the socket is slipping just because it's such a tiny little bolt, and I think the socket metal is just really malleable. It sucks because I really wanted to get them all done, at least, you know, broken apart with my friends' help, but it's not gonna happen, I don't think. What I have to do is I need to go grab a new socket because I think that one's slipping really bad, and we're gonna go from there. Worst case scenario is I have to drill out like 7 more bolts, which I really do not want to do, but if it has to happen, it has to happen. That's just a part of the game, and then I'll have to buy replacement bolts, and there's a couple options. There's like a worst case, medium case, and really, really good scenario, so we'll see how it goes. I need to clean up these bolts, so I might just set them in vinegar. I read that that's pretty cool, and that works for most people, so we're gonna go ahead and try that, and the next time I bring out the wheels and work on them, probably tomorrow, I'll get the vlog going. Alright, see you guys then. Alright guys, so I'm actually getting ready to go to Louisiana, and I did not finish rebuilding those wheels. They were really stuck and corroded on the backside. Just through the years, I think in Japan being by the sea, I think it just got really corroded and rusted, and they kind of stripped the socket, like the socket freaking stripped. That's how you know those things were stuck in there. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to order all new hardware. I think I'm going to do chrome hardware instead, because right now the work gold, some of them are kind of old, some of them are kind of stripped, and actually on one head I guess Garrett and I were just really buffed because we snapped the head right off of the bolt. And I don't think that was from us doing anything wrong. We had the socket straight up and down. We were just spinning it off like normal, but the whole entire head just snapped right off, and that's obviously not safe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do all new hardware. Like I was talking to Brandon about his 3-piece wheels. He had no problems opening them up. They were just all hand tight, pretty much with a hand tool, and he got it all done. So these are definitely harder than regular ones, and that's where I'm starting, but I'm learning a ton. I'm gonna get the faces painted, and I also am gonna get all new hardware, so these things are gonna be freaking pristine. The next things I'm gonna do when I get back from Louisiana are gonna be take apart the wheels, drop off the faces, and order new hardware. Alright, I'll check in with you guys in 10 days when I get back from Louisiana. What's going on, guys? I'm actually in Louisiana right now, and I've just been enjoying some great quality family time. It's the holidays and everything like that, and we celebrate that, so it's just been awesome to spend time with them. I don't see them but like 2 times a year, so pretty awesome. I was editing the video that you're watching right now, and I noticed I didn't have an actual outro recorded. I had the one where, you know, I'll see you guys when I get back from Louisiana, but since I was uploading pretty regularly there before I left, I wanted to get this one out just so that way you guys have this content. It's gonna be a long video series, and it's already at 9 minutes, which I did not expect. And when I get back, there will be bolts probably at the house, and then I can go ahead and drill out those rest of the bolts and then send them off for paint. And after that, obviously we'll get all the curbing, all that stuff. So it'll be probably a 2 or 3 video series, which is pretty cool because I've never done that before. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.